Hello everyone, and welcome to this, our very first ever weekly virtual values assembly. And just as that suggests, we're going to be doing this now on in order to celebrate and come together and share one of the values that are so important to us as a school, our Aspire values. And this will mean that the children who are in school and the children who are at home can all come together on this one occasion each week just to celebrate and to be together. I think that's really important. Missing all of you so wait until we can come back together again in the hall and share these assemblies together. Each week there'll also be a story linked to the value that I've talked about in the assembly. So look out for both each week. Okay, so let's start by reminding ourselves about the school vision. Now you'll remember, although it seems like a long time ago now, I know, every week in our achievement assembly on a Friday, I share the school vision and the values with you. Why we do what we do, why we come together as a school at all. And we believe really strongly in two things at Thomas Harding. The first is that every single one of you is achieving your full potential. Whatever you've decided you would aspire to in your life, you can achieve it. As long as the three things that I talk about all the time are achieved, and that is that the curriculum is great, teaching you exactly what you need. The teaching is excellent and pitched at exactly where you start from and where you are. But also there's that bit about you, because we can't do it without you. And it's really important that you work every day. And I could almost add a little bit onto that, which is that you don't give up. You persevere even when things are difficult. But we're not just about that at Thomas Harding. As you know, we also believe that your well-being and happiness are really important. We will keep you safe. We promise to do that. We will build your inner confidence. We promise to do that. And we will work on making you more resilient. We promise to do that. And we help you throughout your time with us to develop the skills that you need to be a lifelong learner. So that's our vision. And of course, we realise it through a set of values, our school values, our Aspire values. I'll just give you a second, see if you can remember what they are. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Well, it feels like a long time. Okay, so the A stands for achievement. The S stands for, that's right, success. The P stands for potential. The I for independence. The R for respect. And the E, finally, for equality. And we live those values all the time in school, as you know, as adults, and we expect every member of our school community to uphold those values, to model them and to live them. And together they spell the word aspire. Now, I wonder if you can remember what the word aspire means. Well, aspire means your hopes and ambitions towards achieving something. So if you aspire to be a firefighter when you're older, then all of your hopes and ambitions are around that goal, and you will be aspiring to it and working towards it, even now, perhaps in year 3, 4, or 5, thinking about all of the things you need to do to become what you dream of becoming. And that involves, of course, hard work. As I said a moment ago, a great curriculum and great teaching. So as I said, each week we'll look at one of these values linked to Aspire, and I will also share a weekly story with you linked to our values. So as I said, aspiring is to direct your hopes or ambitions towards achieving something. So I just want you to spend a second thinking about what it is you aspire to achieve both now and in the future. And you might aspire to lots of different things. You might aspire to get better at football. You might aspire to become more talented on a musical instrument that you play, perhaps the violin or the guitar. You might aspire to watch all the films in a season, or you might aspire to achieve something in your future, such as a particular career path, or to buy a house, or whatever you aspire to achieve. The key here is remembering that you've got to believe you can do it and you've got to work towards it. All of the things we do at Thomas Harding are all aimed around showing you there are lots of things you can aspire to be and to do. It's important that you realise, though, that an aspiration is one thing, but actually you need to achieve many little goals on the path to achieving an aspiration. And it's those achievements that build up to your future success and achieving your potential. So small goals, though at the time they might feel insignificant, actually are vital on the path to achieving your potential. And I'm going to show you what I mean in a moment. So achievement, if you look at it in the dictionary, is the process of achieving something with effort, skill, or courage. So using a lot of effort, not giving up, already learned and applying it way perhaps, or courage, because sometimes actually it takes a lot of guts to keeping on going if you're not sure that you can achieve it, or if you're that little voice in the back of your head is making you doubt yourself. It can take a lot of bravery to have a go, but actually you have to have a go if you're going to achieve your potential. So achievements can seem tiny. Can you think in your head now, just try and think of perhaps that you've achieved in the past, perhaps many years ago, or perhaps very recently. Very often tiny achievements at the time don't feel tiny at all. It's only when you look back they're tiny. So an example that I thought of for top achievement is tiny. Now that takes you a long time when you're that age, when you're very little. But actually in the great actually it's only a very small skill really. When you're older, you'll look back on it as quite a small skill, but you need it and it's very useful, because actually who would want to be an adult that couldn't do it? So it's important you learn it. There are bigger achievements, such as riding your bike without stabilizers on. That's a much bigger achievement, and again it's something that lots of us aspire to. And then a huge achievement might be something like when humankind landed on the moon. That was a huge achievement, and something that when they first aspired to it, probably people said that was a crazy idea, but actually they achieved it. But landing on the moon wasn't one achievement, it was many achievements over a long period of time. And riding a bike without stabilizers isn't one achievement, it's many achievements over time. And when you build up many achievements like that over time, it leads to one of our other values. I wonder if you can think in your mind what that other value might be. We might be looking at that next week. Okay, so first steps. We talked, didn't we, about landing on the moon being a huge achievement. But there are other first steps that you can take that aren't quite so, or don't seem quite so big, but actually they are big. So Mo Farah running the marathon, actually, and winning, or being competing for Team GB and winning gold medals at the Olympics, huge achievements. Eddie Izzard, he ran 27 marathons in 27 days, all achievements which build on from the first took. So the very first steps that you took as a baby, when you needed an adult to help you at first, and then you started to be independent of first steps, all lead up to that achievement of either running a marathon or landing on the moon or winning gold at the Olympics at long distance running. You can't have one without the other. So that small achievement when you're a little baby can lead on to a huge aspiration later on. Let's look at another example. So riding your bike as an adult can lead to huge achievement. You could win gold at the Olympics. You might be a St. John's Ambulance first responder on your bike saving lives. It could be that you're a BMX champion at the Olympics, but that all leads on from those first steps of riding a bike. First of all with stabilizers, then on your own, then with friends, and then eventually learning tricks. And all of those are achievements. If you aspire to be a BMX champion, you need to first learn how to ride the bike with stabilizers, then without stabilizers, and then eventually to be able to do it socially with friends and be safe on the road. And then all of those achievements build to that aspiration. Swimming. Huge achievements can be made in swimming later on when you've learnt the basics. So here you can see David Walliams. He swam the whole length of the Thames, didn't he? He also swam to France on a different occasion for sport relief. Alice Dearing has recently become one of the first black swimmers to swim in Team GB for the country. It was meant to have been at Tokyo 2020. Obviously, that's been delayed now. But she's a huge advocate for the fact that you need to aspire widely and work towards your goals and achieve them in order to achieve the sort of success she's achieved. And there's Team swimming team there that represented us in 2016, and you can see that all of these people have huge success as adults as swimmers, but they weren't born being able to swim. They had to learn how to swim, and it starts, as all achievements do, by learning with the support of somebody else, parent perhaps, helping you at the beginning, and then armbands and other resources that you might need to help you. But eventually, of course, you need less support and you become better at it on your own. And eventually, as those older children there are, just using a simple float, they're actually swimming. And eventually, those many little achievements lead to you building up to your aspiration, all great achievements. Climbing, well, you might climb Everest. You might become a firefighter who climbs into a burning building and saves people's lives. But that all starts from learning how to climb as a baby, to getting more independent with it, perhaps on a climbing wall or in trees, and learning the skills of climbing, which are hard at first, until eventually you can do it. All achievements. As adults and as older people, we can do all sorts of things with observation skills. Doctors need observation skills. Scientists need observation skills. There you can see zoologists measuring the height of that elephant. Brilliant use of those skills. But they need to be learnt, and you need to learn them slowly and not give up. Great courage, applying skills. And it starts with you at your age in science lessons, out in the playground looking at insects and animals and observing them closely. Perhaps at home, looking at growing with caterpillars in pots and looking at them carefully and noting what you observe. And developing those skills is an achievement, a real achievement. And we've heard people getting those achievements in Achievement Assembly each week. And they're key skills that once you've achieved them, you can apply them in other places. And part of those achievements later on in other places might be things you aspire to do. Writing, well, you might decide when you're older to become a journalist who writes for a living, or a blogger who writes for a living, or a famous author, or an author that writes picture books that go on to become films. And all of these writing skills, they all start with learning to write as a child. First of all, learning the skill of writing, then writing independently with a bit of adult support if you need it. And ultimately, you're writing independently. And then later on, looking for opportunities to be taught the skill of writing for a particular audience to be published. And it's really important that you understand and you learn that these achievements can only be achieved through hard work and dedication and not giving up. So one particular writer I wanted to talk about was this man. So this man is Matthew A. Cherry. Now, Matthew A. Cherry wrote a book called Hair Love, and he wrote it quite a long time ago now. But when he wrote it, he made a bold claim. He said, "I'm going to be nominated for an Oscar one day." Already claiming it, he said. And actually, he got a picture commissioned of the book, and you can see it here. And he asked if any 3D artists followed him on Twitter. He had an aspiration and he went for it. He said, "Come on, if you can make short films, come and talk to me, because look at this. It's a great image. It's a great book." He aspired to achieve something. And you know what? This year at the Oscars, he won the best Oscar for short animated film. There he is collecting his Oscar for this film. So he aspired to it. And at the time he aspired to it, everyone said, you'll never achieve that, Matthew. It's too big a goal. You can't do that. You don't know what to do next. You don't have the skills you need to achieve that. But do you know what? He proved them wrong through finding people who could help him with the skills and developing them in himself, getting the right people on board, and he achieved his aspiration. And the film, as I said, won the award, but it's available on the internet, so you might want to have a look for it and watch it. And my story this week is that book. So I'm going to read you Hair Love in a separate video, all about an achievement of a dad who gets his daughter ready for school one morning. It's a small achievement, but as I said to you before, they build up to bigger ones. And you can't have bigger achievements, and you can't achieve your aspirations unless you get those smaller achievements under your belt. So a great achievement for Matthew, a great book all about achievement too. And it shows that if you aspire and you dream, even if you at the time you dream you don't know how you're going to get there, you can do it. And there's been some achievements in lockdown as well. So you can see here we've got some of our Thomas Harding children achieving things here. You've got Ruby, who's been cooking in lockdown, and I believe they made shepherd's pie, which I heard was excellent. So a real achievement there, some skills being applied. And there you can see Erin, and she's carrying on with her ballet lessons in her sitting room, a real achievement to keep going and keep applying your skills. And Samuel there on his Times Table Rockstars, achieving great scores and beating lots of people because he's applying his skills and not giving up and making small achievements count. So well done, you three. And Mrs. Hussein, you might have seen, set a STEM challenge, so to build a marble run out of recycled materials at home. And we had lots of entries, lots of great entries, but these two really stood out. So you've got Matthew, you might have seen this on our Facebook page. Matthew. How fabulous is that? Such great use of recycled materials, and it works really well. And he looks very proud, and he should be, because that's a huge achievement, Matthew. Well done. The marble makes it all the way to the bottom every time. And then this one was from Emily, and she's done a themed one, under the sea theme, I believe, and it works just as well. It's been made so differently, but actually works just as well. Let's see if we can get this one play. Ooh. Let's go back. Let's see if we can get this one to play. There we go. Great deep sea dives, and you can see all the features beautifully themed. Looks incredible. Let's see where the marble goes in. Oh, I've got that all sound. I don't know how you've done that, Emily, but it sounds great. Really great achievement. And I love the fact that there was a sort of spiral action in that can at the beginning as well. Really great achievements from some of our pupils there. So hopefully that's reminded you of one of our values, our first value, our achieve value. See this week if you can achieve something new. Maybe you'll have a skill already that you've managed to improve. That would be a great achievement. Or a skill you have already that you can apply in a different way. Perhaps you already can play the guitar, but actually you learn a new song. Or it could be a new skill that you develop. Now, I would love to hear about your achievements. And if any achievements are particularly brilliant, and perhaps you send in a photo or a video to us, we might even be persuaded about some of our certificates for them. But we'll see. Let's see what you send in. It would be great to see achievements this week. Look out for the story as well, because the story will be out as well tomorrow. And that will be Hair Love by Matthew, all about achievement. So I am missing you enormously, as are all the staff at Thomas Harding. And if you're not already in school, we're going to get you in as soon as we can, I promise. Keep in touch. We miss you. Keep living our values, especially this week, achievement. Thank you. Bye-bye.